So yeah, we're gonna be creating some proprioception for the feet. Um, you may need the, like if you're not too close to the wall, so you may just have a chair handy by. We're gonna use a blanket, or you can fold a mat. That's an option too, so you don't have to have them, but I think it's gonna be easier. And if you are close to the wall, that will come handy because we'll be using a wall. But if you're not close to the wall, that's okay. I'll give you a chair option. But then if you feel like it's fun, you might just try a few moves that we're gonna do at the wall later on your own when you have access to the wall. But I'll show you a chair option. That's okay. So I think that's it. Any questions, or I need some time to get those props? Just go ahead and take some time.
Yeah, it's 7:59. Oh no, now it is exactly 8. So let's get started. I'm gonna mute myself and I've got everything recording.
Okay.
So and then if anybody joins, I think there was one more person, I'll just let her in if she comes late.
Okay. All right. So, well, good morning, ladies. Thank you for joining me. So today, since we kind of live in a crazy world, so I always love to bring some grounding from the feet. And that's what we'll be exploring today. We're just gonna do our progression from exploring the feet and then noticing how we can build up from that foundation to a little bit maybe more explosive movements. But we're just gonna make that nice transition. So hopefully you will enjoy this practice and feel great in your feet, hips, and overall. And let's just go ahead and try to do two moves that we're gonna test after our class and just kind of see how these two moves, which are very common, and I know you use them a lot with classes with Krista. So we're gonna start with one move, standing, and this is just basically forward bend. You're gonna try to touch the toes and just stay there and see how that feels. Just kind of notice what your range of motion is, where you feel some stretch, where you feel work, where you feel restriction, and then come out of it. And then just go ahead and practice your squat if you are practicing squat. So it doesn't mean it has to be low, maybe just a high squat or whatever your squat is. Go ahead and just try that out and see how that feels. Notice your feet, what they're doing. Notice your hips. And again, notice where your restriction is or where your freedom is. And then notice how you will be coming up. Just kind of build that awareness around your feet and then come up. And we'll retest these two moves after our practice and we'll see how they feel and just your overall posture and standing. Actually, let's go ahead and stand up again and we're gonna check in our posture. So just stand here in your normal posture, close your eyes, and then see if you can kind of connect with your feet. And then for now, just gonna notice the pressure in your feet. Do you feel more pressure in front of your feet or more towards the heels? And is it the same on your right and left? Do you feel more pressure on the inside of the feet or outside? And you might want to just check in with your outer heel and inner heel, with your big toe side and the pinky side. Just kind of notice, is it the same between right and left? And just simply notice what energy your feet are communicating to you. Do you feel supported from your feet? Do you feel you can grow tall from that foundation? Grow tall with no effort. And then see if you can kind of like wiggle your toes. And then bring your toes down. And then one more thing to check in your posture. Do you like to bring one foot more forward than the other? And sometimes you might have to open your eyes and actually look because lots of people are not aware. Just kind of notice, it might be a surprise for you. All right, and then from here, we're gonna go down to the floor. When I'm gonna be on the floor, you will need a block, at least one. You need your socks or those paper towels, and you need one weight. that dumbbell. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and lie down. And before you actually lie down, you're gonna grab those socks. We're gonna start our exploration by placing the socks into the arch. So you're gonna place a sock under your right arch and then under your left arch. And then you're gonna lie down. Yeah, just kind of chill. And then from here, we're gonna start finding our arch towards the floor or towards the sock, and then finding the arch away from the sock, away from the floor. So in your mind, just start noticing, you're gonna start kind of rolling your feet in and then rolling your feet out. So as you roll your feet in, your arch is pressing into the sock a lot more, so you know you're doing it. And when you start rolling your feet out, you may feel the arch is lifting and you don't feel so much pressure on the sock. And again, as you do that, you might start noticing or place your hands on your legs and notice how your legs start responding to your feet moving in and out. So as we come inside, our inner thighs are drawing in, and as we go outside, our outer thighs are drawing out. And now just gonna place your hands onto your bum on right and left. And notice how your butt muscles respond to your feet, transferring that force from the arch and away from the arch. So notice how as you're rolling your feet in, inner thighs rolling in, your butt muscles are getting longer and stretched, and that's awesome. And then as you're moving away from the sock, your outer thighs engage and your butt muscles might just get a little bit firm. So exploring your arch and finding your long foot when the arch is towards the floor, and then finding your contracted strong foot when the arch away from the floor is a great skill to have. And it's very important in our walking gait, standing, balancing, and the work we're gonna do today. All right, so from here, you can keep the socks in your arches and then grab the block and then squeeze the block between your inner thighs. And you might feel again how your feet rolled in and now your arches doing maybe a little bit more work pressing into the socks. And we're creating an opening in our pelvic floor muscles and the pelvic outlet by squeezing our inner thighs. We're gonna grab that weight, reach the weight up with the arms reaching all the way up. So you're gonna feel your shoulder blades spreading out and lifting with the arms. So we're gonna try to inhale here. And as you exhale from the pubic bone up, zip it in, zip it up. And you might feel your tailbone come off the floor. And do that one more time. Exhale. So create that rib cage towards the pelvis connection. So you feel your back pressing into the floor a lot more. And then from here on your next exhalation, you're gonna start reaching the arms back behind you and still keep that reach. Reach from the back of the shoulder through the pinky side, reach, reach, reach without losing your rib cage towards the pelvis connection. And then come back. And then do that 5 more times. With your exhalation, moving the arms away, notice how you might feel more pressure through your big toe, more pressure through the arch into the socks, more pressure of the inner thigh squeezing the block. So I'm gonna inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth slightly open, creating nice wrapping around with the core muscles and reaching. Okay, so gonna do one more reach. Exhale and reach, 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 reach. And relax. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the block. We're gonna do that one more time. This time, keep your dumbbell in your arm if you're using it. And that will be good if you are. So from here, we don't need the socks at the moment. So we're gonna go ahead and place the heels now on the floor. And just without lifting your pelvis, go ahead and try to really press the heels down and notice what happens with the pelvis. And then relax. You might want to put your hands on your hips or the pelvis. And then just again, press the heels onto the floor and pull them in towards the body. And just notice how your butt muscles might engage, your hamstrings, and your pelvis shifts. Okay, and let's do it one more time. Gonna press, pull, and this time press and pull and lift the pelvis up. So hopefully feeling your hamstrings and the butt muscles. Great. And now you're gonna grab your, again, dumbbell in your right arm. You're gonna go ahead and bring your left knee in towards the body as you're still keeping the work in your right heel, right hamstring, and the right butt cheek. Okay, we're gonna bring that right arm up, reach, reach, reach. I'm gonna hold this position. And if you do start cramping in your hamstring, you're gonna stop. And now we're gonna roll that dumbbell in and out. So you're gonna try to press the dumbbell through your pinky side and the thumb side. Reach that arm and make sure when you look at the arm, your entire arm is moving. So it's not just the hand, it's your upper arm and the forearm rotating in and out, just like what we did with the feet. All right. Oh, yes. My right side is on fire. Hopefully yours as well. That was the purpose. So we're going to switch. Okay. And again, push through the heel, pull at the same time. You're going to start feeling how the pelvis starts rolling in towards you. You're going to continue that rolling motion. And now keep that left heel. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. Bring your left arm. And again, start reaching. And the whole idea with a single leg work is to keep the pelvis level. So make sure your right side of the pelvis is not dropping down. Give me nice level pelvis. And relax. Whew. Okay. Excellent work. So we're not going to be putting socks under our arches this time. So see if you can just play with that idea without that proprioceptive feedback. Gonna grab the dumbbell again. I'm gonna repeat our first move, reach the arms, squeeze. And again, notice how the pelvis already moves just because of your squeeze. And notice that connection into your big toe. Like my big toes are on because my inner thighs are working. All right, and then from here, we are going to be reaching the arms way back. As you're reaching the arms, you're gonna try to imagine that your arms are attached to your pelvis and you're keeping one straight line from the pelvis to the arms. And we're gonna do 3 more times. Exhale. Inhale. You're still squeezing the block. Notice how the arches is slightly drawn in towards the floor. The weight might shift towards the inner parts of the feet. Okay, that's the last one. All right, now we're gonna be starting again, right arm, left leg, kind of keeping the same pattern. So heels on the floor, toes are off, push, pull, lift. So bring that left knee in, pelvis is level, arm is up, and we're gonna rotate. Cramping is very welcome in this position. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down and switch. So heel, well, I'm gonna do a heel, pull, lift. Bring your right knee up, left arm up, and start your rolling. So keep pulling with the left heel and pressing down. So we're doing about 30-second hold or so, maybe 20. And relax. All right. So from here, we're gonna be rolling to the side and coming up for our next exploration. So we're gonna have our blocks and 2 socks. So if you need to, you can have your blocks high or a medium size, whichever one is going to feel good. I'm going to bring my left foot between the blocks. Okay, and what I want you to do is to use your one socks under the mount of the big toe and the big toe here in front. And the other sock is going to go under the outer heel. Okay, and before we go to something else, what I want us to connect this time is how the foot connects to the lower leg. And they have to kind of move together, just like with the arm, that motion we just did. We're going to play with the leg. You're going to place your hands onto your left shin, under your, around your left leg. And you're going to use your arms to just kind of help that rotation of the lower leg, which is going to, again, bring your arch towards the floor. And you're going to have a lot more pressure into the big toe. And then you're going to kind of twist that lower leg, and you're going to feel the pressure shifting to the outer heel. And again, you're going to roll in, internally rotate that shin. So pressing through the big toe. And you're going to externally rotate that lower leg and feel how the outer heel now connects to the ground. So it's very important for the leg and the foot to move together, especially when we walk, stand, or even do some other things like squatting or hinging. Okay, and notice again, now you can kind of stare at the foot and just notice how the foot moves. If you don't know, I am very fascinated by the feet. So I can stare at this process for a long time. But anyway, so this time we're gonna place blocks on either side of the foot. You're gonna tuck the toes under of the other foot and see what happens with the foot as you lift the back leg up and shift the weight forward. And again, just notice if you are a high arch, you should let your arch go, should be able to let your arch go. All right, and then see if you can just rotate that foot coming to that outer heel and a big toe, and an outer heel and a big toe. And just notice how it feels all the way through the hip. Notice what changes. All right, I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna bring the other foot in front. So shifting our socks, outer heel and the mount of the big toe. And again, I'm gonna wrap the hands around the lower leg and we're just gonna start rotating it in. Notice how it affects the foot and then rotating it out. So when we are in the squat, we actually go through all this motion 3 times. In a squat, actually, it's rotating out, rotating in, and rotating out. And this ability and range of motion are very important for a very good, healthy squat. All right. And then again, we're going to place the hands into the block. So stabilize through the foot. So see if you can kind of start with neutral. So which means you have equal distribution of weight between your outer heel and the big toe, and you're gonna lift up and then just play with that foot. So see if you can roll it in, roll it out. Notice how it feels. And maybe you can use this motion for other movements. It's gonna change your movement and your position. All right, and then from here, we're gonna be coming to standing. All right. So of course our feet are related to the lower legs. And this time we're gonna work on our calf muscles, which are quite important for many things. So we're gonna use on calf, work on calf muscles and toes at the same time. So that's why I'm using a blanket. You're gonna have either a wall or a chair just for support and balance. And we're gonna do a few heel elevated calf raises. Okay. So from here, so you're gonna place your balls of the feet and the toes on that folded blanket. You can also fold the mat and do that. So make sure your wall or chair close by. And we're gonna try to lift the heels. So we're gonna try to go straight up, straight up, straight up as high as you can, and then slowly bringing it down. And then again, go up, 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 and go down. So calf muscles have a short twitch fibers, which are great for explosive movements, jumping, running, and things like that, even walking. So yeah, see if you're gripping the toes and try not to grip the toes, but actually press the toes down onto the blanket. And again, kind of notice if you're doing sort of like this. I see a lot of people kind of do those calf raises by doing this work. Okay, let's do our last one here. All right. And then we're gonna try to put this work into a little bit more challenge. And we're gonna try to do a split stance with heel elevated as well. I'm gonna try to do it without a weight this time. You may need a chair again for support or a wall. So I'm gonna bring my left foot forward, right foot back, okay? Zip it in, zip it up. Now I'm gonna lift my front heel and my back heel. Yes, I'm just gonna be here. All right, so yeah, both of them are lifted. So you're keeping your rib cage over the pelvis, and this time you're gonna try to take your right arm and reach to the outside of the left foot. The heel is still elevated. And then keep that transfer of forces. Notice how everything rotates as you reach the other way. We're not gonna go for this, just gonna go with the elbow. So if you want to make it challenging, don't use a chair, and you're gonna try to reach. So we're keeping our knee angle the same. So nothing changes, legs don't straighten. And as you're reaching towards your outside left foot, you may feel quite a bit of interesting sensations, let's put it that way, in your left hip. And of course, I'm talking and you might try to breathe. Of course, if it's too much, you can bring the heel down, you can hold it to the chair. All right, and then we're gonna go the other way. So right foot forward, left foot back. So these are the muscles that keep us upright as well. And when we sit a lot, they're not quite responsive, especially for some plyo movements or explosive movements. Again, we're gonna reach and reach the other way. So notice which part of the foot you're losing. Is it the big toe? Most likely. So see if you can press through the big toe, because remember the big toe pressing moves us to the inner thigh. So the more we connect it through the feet, more we can transfer the forces in this balancing position, especially easier. Let's do our last one. And I'm gonna come back. All right, so yeah, just gonna do a little bit of dancing moves here. We're gonna go back to these two movements again. So yeah, we're gonna try to do at least 5 or 6. So placing your balls of the feet and the toes, and again, the toes are gonna try to grip, especially if they are not strong and not plantar flexed motion. So but you're gonna try to keep them lengthened on the blanket. So from here again, rib cage towards the pelvis, and go high, 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 slowly bringing it down. Don't let them drop. So also if you do walk up the stairs, this is excellent work that we're doing to allow the foot to communicate with the leg, hip, and core. And stepping up the stairs, it's a single leg motion. All right, let's do one more. I don't know, maybe it's number 6. All right. So now you know what to expect. You know if you need a chair or you don't. And if that move was challenging already, you may want to skip the dumbbell because it's definitely gonna put a lot more oomph into this whole position. So my left foot is forward, my right foot is back. If you're using a dumbbell, I would suggest starting with a chair support. And now again, we are going. Our knee angle, especially of the front leg, is not changing. And the back leg as well. So both heels are elevated. So now the weight should give you just a little bit more challenge. And of course, your rib cage towards the pelvic position, including your core for some support. So if you're arching through the back, that might be very challenging. because your core is not going to be helping you with this whole motion. And again, just kind of notice how your leg rotates as we are adding those upper body rotations. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So I'm gonna bring the right foot forward, left foot back, both hips are facing forward. Inhale, exhale, set your core. Knee angle stays the same. We're not changing that. We're keeping the tension between the lower leg and the upper leg. And of course, I'm talking. That's another challenge. And you definitely want to do that slow because your base of support is much less. Okay, let's do our last one here. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and relax, placing the dumbbell on the floor and just kind of notice how you feel. Just kind of walk around. All right, and then from here, if you feel like it, we're gonna do just a little bit of jumping. You can kind of do the jumping almost like pulsing, sort of like that, or you can do an actual little jump. So whatever you feel comfortable with. Yeah, just kind of do a little bit like a bouncing sort of a sensation. Heels are off the floor, and you're trying to work those short twitch fibers of the calves of Achilles and making them stronger. When I used to do a lot of yoga, I could not do any jumps. Any explosive movement was like foreign world to me. So it's good to do all of it. Okay. So now we're going to be going to our next kind of circuit of 2 moves. And this is where you need a wall, but if you don't have a wall, you're just not going to be having your foot against the wall. So if you do have a wall nearby that you can still see me, then you're going to bring your left foot into the wall. Okay. Bring your right foot forward. And see if you can feel that pressure through the big toe and the outer heel on your right foot, but also on your left foot. If you don't have a wall nearby, you're just gonna do this motion, okay? But it's gonna be a little bit more challenging to do it off the wall. Okay, we're gonna do our rib cage towards the pelvis. And this time it's a hip hinge. You're gonna press that back foot into the wall. And you're gonna go slowly down, feel a good stretch in your butt muscles. And then you're gonna come up, but you're not gonna lose the angle of your front knee. So you're not gonna be coming up to this. So we're just going down and we're going up. All right, if that felt good, you're gonna go ahead and grab the weight. And we're gonna put a little bit more challenge into it. So again, if you don't have a wall nearby, your back foot is gonna be on the floor. So you're gonna hinge, keep that hinge. So feel a good stretch through your butt muscles. Press through your big toe if you don't feel like you are. Bring your arms here. And now we're just gonna challenge this movement by, again, kind of rotating with that torso. And you might start feeling how that foot is kind of rolling in, rolling out to give you that support. And hopefully your right butt is on fire. All right, and then relax. Yeah, mine is definitely is. Okay, I'm gonna switch. So press through the big toe, knees bent, the knee angle stays the same. Right foot is actively pushing into the wall if you're using it. Do a few hinges here. Feel that good butt stretch on the left side this time. And then from here, we're gonna stay in that hinge position, rib cage towards the pelvis, and you're gonna try to do your reverse fly motion here. And that should, again, kind of give you that motion in the foot. It's rolling in, rolling out. Just because the arm moves, can you keep everything else nice and stable? And let's do a last one. And relax. All right, and now we're gonna try to put our short fiber muscles into more action. So I'm gonna give you the wall version first, and then I'm gonna give you a chair version if you're not too close to the wall. So from here, we're going back to that same split squat. So my left foot is in front. Okay, my knee, left knee is gonna be at the same angle. And now we're gonna try to get situated, and we're gonna do the kick and back. See if you can create that power through the kick. And of course, for extra, you can lift the heel off the floor. And the chair is gonna be, instead of the wall, we're gonna have a chair here, and kick, kick. So the left knee stays at the same angle. I'm not coming into anything like this, right? So a little bit more power at the wall. So like be mad, and then do the other leg. So we're gonna go to the other leg. So find that position and create that power from the butt. So you're kicking at the wall from the butt. And of course, if you want to lift the heel, that's gonna be even harder. So it's that being mad situation. So go ahead and do a couple more. If you're using a wall or a chair. Yeah, good kicks. I think I see Mia there. Excellent. So we're not straightening the leg that's in front. All right. Well, that's at 30 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and just do our retesting. So let's go ahead and do our first one, hip hinge. Go down and just notice how it feels. Notice if you actually have more awareness through your feet. Notice if all that work created a lot more range of motion in this movement. And then come back up. And then go back to that similar squat you did before. Notice how that feels. And as you are in this squatting position, kind of look at your feet. Notice what your arches are doing. Notice where the pressure in the feet is. And then come back up. And then from here, stand in your kind of normal stand. Close your eyes. And just take a few moments to feel perhaps more connection with the ground. And just notice how that physical grounding might be changing your mood.